Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. What do you know? The Lions played a football game on Sunday, Jeff. They played a football game. And we're here Monday talking about it. Some things don't change.
Did they play Russell Wilson last night?
No, they played Joe Montana. I
swear Russell didn't leave Seattle.
I hope you all had a very, very good weekend. Very difficult. Obviously, the Lions lose again. I'm not gonna make you guys wait long. The phone lines are open for the entire show. You are allowed to call in because I have zero interest in talking this morning. I have zero interest in talking about your football team that just finds every excuse in the book to do everything except win football games. That's what they are. And I don't think I have it in me today. I don't. 1-3. You've faced, let's see, Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins, and now Geno Smith. And you've given up the most points in NFL history through 4 games. Does that make sense to any of you at home? It didn't make sense to me last night when I was looking up everything.
You know what's a crazy stat? The Lions have averaged 35 points per game and allowed 35.3 points per game. They've scored the most touchdowns in the league, and they're 1-3 against those quarterbacks. Listen, another part of that is Detroit's 281 combined points plus points allowed are the most by any team in the first 4 games of the season in NFL history. They've been in a shootout every game, and they've lost 3 of those games.
The reality is, by the way, the number, and Alex, when you can pin it to the top of the screen, 313-552-6322. Go ahead and call Fish. He'll let you on the show. I want to hear what you, the people, have to say after Sunday. What do you want me to tell you? Well, they tried. They tried so hard. Great. Story of my God-you-know-what life. They tried hard.
And they only lost by 3 points.
They only lost by 3. If he didn't throw the pick 6. If this, if that, if Fish, shut the hell up. I'm not in the mood today.
Remember we talked about Matt Flynn, and we talked about the career game he had, and we joked and said, watch this game be a Matt Flynn game. Geno Smith scored more points yesterday than the Seahawks scored in their first 3 games. Scored 47 through 3 games, 48 yesterday.
Let's take a step back. Final score 48-45. You lose at home to Geno Smith, Pete Carroll, and the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sure it is open season on Aaron Glenn right now. And you know what? Rightfully so. He deserves every bit of pressure and criticism coming his way over the next 24, 48, 72 hours. There's no excusing it. But you are talking about a billion-dollar organization, an organization that hires essentially its CEO and a head coach to run the organization. And for some rhyme or reason, this head coach is really good at one thing right now: losing football games. Through his first 21 games, he's 4-16-1. Matt Patricia was 8-12-1. Now, Adam, the roster, Adam. Roster was different.
The culture.
Team was more talented. The culture. He took over this. He did that. He did this. He did that. Rah, 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 rah. This is the NFL, guys. And I can't believe 4 games into the season, this is what I have to talk about. I have to talk about a team that should be 3-1, but coaching is holding you back. Not on the offensive side of the ball. Clearly, Ben Johnson avoided really disaster for this football team last year with the work he did with Dan Campbell. And clearly that played a huge role. And if you just go look at his first 4 games called compared to Dan Campbell's first 4 games called, it's a night and day difference. Having said that, you take into account all the injuries on offense. Offense wasn't the issue. You look at the defense. Wait, you're going to bring up talent this morning to me? Is it talent or is it coaching?
I watched the Atlanta Falcons hold this team to 23 points last week.
I watched the New York Giants, granted it's the Chicago Bears, hold them to 12 points. Hell, I watched the Bears hold the Giants to 12 points. I watched Atlanta, like you said, hold Cleveland. I'm not asking for the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. I'm not asking, hell, for the John Gruden Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not asking for the 85 Bears. I'm asking for a punt. A single fucking punt. And I can't even get that.
No.
What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be calm with you guys this morning? I don't want to be calm. I'm not calm. I'm not happy. Your coaching sucks across the board. Across the board. Head coach to the defensive coordinator right now. It sucks. Head coach cost you 2 games with decisions. Defensive coordinator. My mother could go out and play quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks and she would set the NFL record for passing yards. That's your state of coaching. And Rashad Penny, of course, pouring salt in the wound on a Monday morning. What does he come out and say? We knew what defense they were running the whole game. We knew.
Yeah.
We knew when they lined up this way, we were going to run the ball, and we were going to do this, and they were going to overcommit, and we were going to do this. Oh, wow. Man, I didn't know the NFL was that easy. I didn't know the NFL was that easy. I may have to go throw my hat in and go be a tight ends coach somewhere, and maybe I get an NFL job. Who knows? Losers. 1-3.
Dan Orlovsky's
and they
tweet.
easily... They're 1-3, and I'll let you go to Dan, because I did see that tweet, too.
Hilarious.
They're 1-3. And in my opinion, this is a 3-1 football team. When do you guys reflect on that? Where you sit back and you ask yourselves, how are we 1-3? And I don't want to hear that it's just Aaron Glenn. Why are you 1-3 right now when I could argue your football team has played some of the better football, not only offensively, but even altogether, putting it together for 4 quarters in the NFC North? You're 1-3. You have fewer wins than the Bears. You are now 2 games back of the Vikings and the Packers. You still have to play the Packers twice. I mean, this is...
Schedule looks a little harder now, doesn't it? And that's why I love Dan's tweet. Dan said if the Lions had a bad defense, they'd be 3-1. So, like, what? This defense is even a step below that.
I would take historically the worst defense in the NFL, and I could be 3-1 right now. They're not even that. They're historically worse than the historically worst team.
Something's wrong schematically, because last year there's a lot of points where we were talking about on the show, hey, if the offense would score more points, they would win all these games. The defense is holding them, the offense isn't producing. And they were still one of the worst defenses in the league, but they were keeping guys, or at least teams, under control the first 4 games. I mean, this is a disaster. And it has to be schematically, because the team did get better. You didn't have Aiden. You didn't have Malcolm. You still didn't have Romeo Okoro last year. And they were keeping teams held to 19, 20, 24 points. This is another animal right here.
I have so much disappointment, but you know what? Let's start. We'll go to Redford, Michigan with Dan. I hope this isn't Dan Campbell calling in. Dan, good morning, buddy. You're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got?
Hey, how you guys doing? No, this isn't Dan Campbell. But I was actually at the game yesterday, and I went with my girlfriend and a few members of her family. And it's the first game that I've been to in probably like 20 years. And the stadium was packed. I even mentioned it to my girlfriend. Like, I was looking around. I was in section 204C, the club level seats. And just looking around, the stadium was packed. I mean, the vibe was awesome. It was roaring, the entire game pretty much. But I mean, like what you guys were talking about, the defense. I mean, it was... that quarterback bootleg to the tight end. I mean, they could have ran that play all game, it seemed like. I mean, they were picking up, first downs left and right with that play. And just 555 total yards for Seattle. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like, it was tough to watch. I mean, I mean, it was back and forth, and then Goff throws that pick, right out of halftime, and it was. I don't know. I'm with you guys with the frustration. I mean, I've said on countless occasions, I don't know how this team hasn't sent me to the ER from a lot of times. It's very, very frustrating. I mean, when do we give? Do we keep giving Aaron Glenn a pass, or what are we supposed to do now?
The most frustrating part of that too, by what you're saying, is going into the game, you knew that Geno Smith was going to try and establish that play action and hit his tight ends in the middle. Like, that was a known thing going into the game. So, like, I want to ask you were there. How was the crowd, especially to the end of the game, yelling and chanting on third down, knowing that you haven't been able to stop them all game? Like, what's the confidence level of everybody in the crowd?
And it was kind of, when it came to third down, I was pretty much just like shaking my head, like, oh boy, here we go. They're gonna pick the first down up. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you want to, have them stop them, obviously, but it was like, somehow they're gonna pick the first down up. And then, Penny breaks that big runoff, and it was just like, yeah, the vibe was definitely like everybody was like, here we go again kind of thing. You know what I mean? So.
Fair enough. Well, look, Dan, we appreciate it. Thank you for calling in this morning. I want to go to James out in Ann Arbor. James, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. Your thoughts on the game. Walk me through your thoughts this morning.
My thoughts are disgust. This
is
beyond
I get it, man. I get it. I'm not going to knock
and
anybody for calling in and saying this. I really am not.
And here's my thing. Like, this is to the point now, 4 weeks in, we're on Anthony Lynn level of last year for the defensive side of the ball now. Do we get rid of Aaron Glenn, say, okay, we're going to demote you, maybe bring in Aubrey Pleasant? Or is that even going to help? Are we going to just keep watching this film? And, I had hope this year. And God bless America, I lured myself to sleep. I drank the Kool-Aid. And, man, like you guys said, we should be 3-1 easy right now. I don't care what the stats say. I don't care when they say, well, they've tried their hardest. Everyone expected them to lose. When you're in these games, good teams find ways to win.
Right.
Bad teams, you do what we do, and we keep being the same SOL.
Welcome to the business, James.
I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think replacing Aaron Glenn this early in the season could be a turnaround like they did for last year of Anthony Lynn?
You know what? At the end of the day, I have a head coach who I need to look at. The reality is, my job, any business, you look to the leader, the person in charge, your CEO. What is he doing for you? And if my CEO has to go through their head of communications and then the head of social media, and then they have to go change the head of, let's say, business development, and they just keep switching out because it isn't working, well, when are we supposed to look at the guy in charge of all of it and say, hey, you're not doing a good enough job? Again, open season on Aaron Glenn. I think it's totally justified. All of you can call in, and James, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your feedback. But the reality is, welcome to the NFL. You're now 1-3. You should be a 3-1 football team, and I could argue if you had C- coaching, you're a 3-1 football team. I'm not even asking for much. I'm asking for a single punt. Can't even get that. I'm asking for a decision. By the way, go look at how Seattle called their game. Did they go for it on fourth down?
Nope.
Did they make any egregious decision that would have, maybe handed over momentum to the Detroit Lions? No, they didn't. They took their points, and you know what? They ended up winning by 3. When we get back, we'll continue the calls. Call in with your questions. We'll have answers. It's disgusting morning here in Detroit. 1-3. What do you know? I already have to listen to people in the comments, whether they're calling in or they're on the Woodward Sports chat. Oh, thinking about Will Anderson. Oh, who are we drafting this year? It's October 3rd. That's what we're doing this morning. And you want to tell me it's Aaron Glenn's fault. The same Aaron Glenn that I was told, boy, he interviewed for the Saints job. Boy, he's going to get Jeff Okudah. How'd Jeff Okudah do yesterday? Oh, wait, he looked like a normal corner. If you want to see what an actual shutdown corner looks like, go watch Patrick Surtain on Devontae Adams yesterday. That's what they look like. You don't need to watch film. You just go watch. Go watch them one-on-one, how they interact. Hockenson finally had his best game ever in his career. That was nice. Only took since 2019 his first ever game in the NFL to do something.
He got it.
Yeah. His first 100-yard game since 2019.
Is he still Ebron?
Stats are just the same as Ebron through the same amount of games.
Just checking.
It's literally the same amount of stats. But he is a better player than Ebron, that's no doubt. When we get back, but before we do, Jeff, you got to tell us about our good friends over at Big Frog.
Yes, so guys, don't forget you can get a free Woodward Sports T-shirt at Big Frog all month long in Novi. Stop it and tell them we sent you, and they will print one out for you on the spot. Go to Big Frog in Novi today, get your free T-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the three biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
And we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live on a Monday morning. What else is new? The Lions lose another football game. I got to get used to this. I've witnessed 4 wins.
I was going to say, you've been losing since we were born. So if anything, we're built for this.
I've witnessed 4 wins since we started this. That's ridiculous.
Shame on us for me sitting up here yesterday and saying, you know what? I looked at this camera and I said, you know what? I think this defense can hold them to 17. I cannot believe those words came out of my mouth.
Yeah, look. Everybody was wrong.
But I also said the offense would score 24. Man, they look good. They did.
Look, the reality is this team is awful. And look, 313-552-6322. Call in with your questions. We're ready for them. Jake, I'll go to you. We have Jake joining us this morning here on the morning show. Jake, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so I think one of the disappointing things was watching Dan come to the presser after the game and immediately go to the interception for a touchdown from Jared. And I get why emotionally you want to go there first. But as soon as I watched highlights of other games, I believe Jalen Hurts threw a pick 6 to the Jacksonville Jaguars immediately, and they still ended up winning that game. Mm-hmm. So it feels a little excusey. I think Aaron is the obvious go-to in terms of pointing out where the flaws were. There was no adjustments. Obviously, Seattle said they knew what was going on, so that was disappointing. I think the stats were saying that aside from a couple misses from them, it was almost as if not having a defense out on the field would have been just as likely an outcome. So it's like you're going to put bodies out there, but you're not going to adjust at all. It's crazy. You're at a professional level here. I mean, you're seeing adjustments being made at high school levels. I mean, come on. And I think a huge part of that was watching Seattle use the bootleg. I mean, my God, they used the bootleg at least 11 plays.
Yeah, look, Jake.
And torched us.
Yeah, it was pretty simple. They couldn't stop anything. A high school team could have showed up and put 45 on this football team. I'm not sure what the scheme is. I was told it was a 4-2-5 going into the season.
It's a passing league, Adam.
It looks nothing remotely to any competent defense. And you know what? You brought up an interesting point. Dan Campbell's initial reaction, that pick 6, man. Hey, man, we got to get better, man. Hey, we're competing, man. How about we're winning? Right? How about we start there? I didn't know that matters in the NFL. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, you guys tell me. Does winning matter in the NFL? Hell, let's throw up a poll in the chat. Throw up a poll in the Woodward Sports Chat. Does winning matter? Clearly not, man. Because as long as we're competing, man, and we're scoring points, man, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. It's all good. Aaron Glenn, right? Aaron Glenn, man. He's a good. It's my guy, AG, man. Kidding me.
And
what a joke.
And listen, Dan, I think he's self-aware. I mean, he talked about it. The thing I didn't like either is the Jared Goff comment, because I agree with you, the caller, too, because I watched 2 games yesterday. I watched Aaron Rodgers throw a pick six, and I get the defense completely different than the Lions. And I watched Jalen Hurts throw a pick six. If you want to pull the Jared Goff pick six and blame that, go ahead. But clearly we're watching
We're going to blame a pick six on an offense that put up 45 points.
Okay.
I'm not doing that this morning. You guys can talk about whatever you want. That is not the angle I'm going at.
No.
I'm not even going after Aaron Glenn this morning. I refuse to do it. And you guys can call in 313-552-6322. The number's pinned at the top of the Woodward Sports Chat. It's very simple. Call in. Questions. Should Dan Campbell be on the hot seat?
Yes. Wow.
That's the question we have to stare down this morning. Whether you like it or not. I don't want to do this, Jeff. I really don't. I would love nothing more staring down the barrel of possibly being 3-2 going into the bye week. But no, you know what conversation we have to have? Matt Patricia and Bailey Zappi might drop 50 on this Aaron Glenn defense. That's the conversation we're having.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up.
You're facing 3 backup quarterbacks, Adam, probably. I mean, I assume Teddy will be in for Tua when we face the Dolphins. Who knows? You might lose all 3 of those games. Listen, even the Patriots game this week, the confidence I had before watching this offense, hoping the defense figures it out, it's all out the window. I don't see, if you could give up 48 to Geno Smith, how in the hell are you going to stop Cooper Rush in Dallas? It's just not happening.
Guys. Let's roll back a little bit, all right? Patrick Mahomes yesterday, see what he did to that Tampa Bay defense? Put up 41. That was damn impressive on the road, right? Last I checked, Patrick Mahomes was in Tampa. Herbert was in Houston. Allen was in Baltimore. Lamar was home against the Bills. Stafford plays tonight. Kyler was playing in Carolina. You had Geno Smith come to town and drop 48 on you. We're not talking about talent at this moment. We're not. This is not talent. This is coaching. That's all you can blame it on, is coaching. And that starts with, of course, Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. It's not good enough. And it is the fundamental things, too. How many times do I have to watch a Lions edge rusher over pursue? How many more times? We saw it a ton against Philly. We saw it in the second half against Washington. You saw it in spurts a little bit against Minnesota. When are you going to figure it out?
Right.
And when can I just do a show where I have to come in? Hey, you know what? Lions took care of business this weekend. Well, they never do. And again, through his first 21 games, Dan Campbell is 4-16-1 through his first 21 games. Matt Patricia had 8 wins at this time, and we wanted to kill him. Oh, well, Adam, the culture's different. Is it? You're still losing. You're 1-3. Schedule's only going to get harder. You would have laughed at Jacksonville, at the Giants, at the Jets, all these teams that are so-called easy wins now. There's no such thing as an easy win for this football team. You couldn't beat Minnesota on the road with the game in your lap, and you gift-wrapped it to them. You couldn't beat Seattle at home. Atlanta's defense held this team to 20 points last week.
Yeah.
Atlanta, your defense is more talented than Atlanta. You can't get a pass rush.
Right.
That's the show we get to do this morning. That's what we get to do. Let's go to Justin out in New York. Justin, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
I think everybody's giving Aaron Glenn too big of a pass. At what point do we look at him? Because, okay, Ben Johnson stepped in the last 6 games or whatever last season. Instant results. That second half of the Washington game, they scored too many points. So when are we looking at Aaron Glenn like, dude, you got to do something? I think their relationship is like skewing Dan Campbell's like view, because Aaron Glenn sucks.
Yeah, no, you're right. And the reality is he is on the hot seat this morning. He is. But how many coordinators does my head coach of my football team have to go through before we, quote, get it right, or we seem like we're on the right track? Since dating back to last season, the last 10 games the Lions have played, they are giving up an average of 32 points a game. Again, Aaron Glenn, last year, he had moments, right? Moments of giving up less than 20 points a game, right? Some games you really thought you had no chance. The defense kept you in it. Where is that defense? I wasn't even asking this. I'm not asking for a top 15 defense. I'm not even asking for top 25. If you were the 25th, hell, 30th, hell, 28th, hell, 31st. If you were the 31st ranked defense, you're 3-1. But you're not even that. You're worse than 32. You're worse than the historically worst defenses ever. And you added talent in the offseason. Does that add up to you, Jeff?
No, it doesn't. Especially
so Aaron Glenn, of course, open season on him. I have nothing to defend this man this morning.
I'm not going to say, and this is the only thing I disagree with, is fire Aaron Glenn right now. I'm going to give Aaron Glenn a chance to figure this out. I think he's earned that right. To say we're going to go ahead and fire Aaron Glenn after last year, sitting up here and saying, well, the offense just needs to score more. Yes, I would agree. The defense did get better. They did add players. You didn't have Malcolm last year. You didn't have Aiden. You didn't have Romeo Core still. But this year they did regress. So I get why people would be frustrated. But to say fire him, I mean, I'm going to give Aaron Glenn the benefit of the doubt here. I'm going to give him a chance to at least fix it. Now, if he does it, we can have a conversation.
I'm going to hold his little hand. I'm going to walk him into my office. Come here, Aaron. We've got to talk one-on-one, buddy.
Because clearly it's schematically, and it doesn't mean he can't change that. But I'm with you.
Have a seat, Aaron. Aaron, here's the deal. You are going to Foxborough in a few days. Do you understand me, Aaron? We are playing one of the more pathetic offenses in the NFL, who just lost Jonnu Smith, who Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, the Jacoby Myers, those are their wide receivers. Bailey Zappi, likely their starting quarterback, making his first career start. If you can't figure it out in Foxborough, don't even be on the plane when I have to leave. I don't want to see you on the plane going out of Foxborough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested. If you can't figure it out this week, kick rocks. I'm not taking away your responsibilities. I'm not demoting you. I'm not calling the plays for you. You are getting fired out of town, and I'm going to bring in some 55, 60, 70-year-old defensive coordinator who can at least make me look stupid. I will take being a stupid defense at the moment over what they are right now. Give me the 30th, 28th ranked defense. As of right now, I can work with it, clearly. But let's be honest here. You think the offense is going to continue at this pace? Hell no. Even with St. Brown and even with DeAndre Swift coming back, it will not be this good. It cannot be good. It can't. It can't be this good. There is nothing to suggest this is sustainable long term. There's nothing sustainable about this offense. There's nothing sustainable continuously going up against prevent defense. No press, no blitz. Hey, you know what? We're up 15. We're going to let them milk the clock. All right, the Lions go on a 4, 5, 6, 7-minute possession. The quarter's almost over. All right, cool. We go, boom, answer. All right, they're back down 10 points again. 15 points, 17 points, 20 points, whatever it is. This is not sustainable. Scoring the way you are is not sustainable. So we can look at Aaron Glenn and say, hey, Aaron, we just need you to only give up 30 points a game and we could win. That's a lie. You are not going to score 30-plus points a game this year. You have a 4-game sample size. I love Ben Johnson. Love the job he's doing. This is not sustainable at all. You haven't even played a damn good defense yet. Green Bay's coming soon. Dallas, they get to the quarterback.
It's coming soon.
Dallas just gave up 10 points to the same Washington team you gave up 20-plus points.
Even next week, the Patriots just had a pick six on Aaron Rodgers.
The Patriots gave Aaron Rodgers fits in Lambeau.
Right. It gets harder.
There is no the Lions' easy schedule. Oh, yeah, boom, 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 1, 2, 3. That's done. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation. Historically bad on defense. The Lions losing 48-45. Pathetic. We'll continue to take callers. Get your questions in the chat. Make sure when you call in you have a question for us. And we'll be right back. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
Well, guys, SMA lets you know that it's okay to not be okay. And the Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, will help fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Wow. Guys, I got to go to Fulling after what I witnessed yesterday. Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, or they have the unlimited open play. They also have the $120 lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 mystery beer machine and full bar. Check it all out, fullingwarehouse.com.
All right. This upbeat music is not fitting for what we witnessed on Sunday.
Yeah, we need something sad.
Here we are. The Detroit Lions, 48-45, pathetic loss to the Seattle Seahawks. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you for watching us live over at woodwardsports.com. Jeff, let's go to Joe out in Plymouth. Joe, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us?
How's it going, fellas?
It's going good, man.
I can't even believe I'm actually having this conversation today. But let's just say, I know you said it wasn't sustainable. I think that the Lions, their offense is fine.
I would agree. I think it's more than fine. It's very good. I don't think 35-37 a game is realistic for this team. They're going to have to win 27, 23, 27, hell, 24-20 games. And the reality is that defense won't set them up in that position. Did we lose him? I think we lost him. Joe, feel free to call back if it doesn't go through. Let's go out to Jersey. We have Christian on the line. Christian, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us, buddy?
How you doing, fellas? Good morning.
Good morning.
So I found myself yesterday playing a game to myself watching this game. Like every touchdown they scored, I'm literally like, you know what? Every touchdown they score, I'm just going to drink a beer. And then I found myself drinking several beers, and to the point where I had to drown my sorrows. It was just that bad. But as to the game itself, Aaron Glenn needs to fix this scheme, because obviously the scheme he's running last year, worked for the team, even with lesser talent. So I don't know what's this scheme that literally you're giving up all these yards to run to. Literally, Geno Smith was the leading rusher with this team until yesterday. That's that. Why does it come to us where you let Rashard Penny, who hasn't really done anything all season?
Well, because it's Detroit. It's Detroit and it's Dan Campbell. And I hate to say that this morning. I really do. I do want to be fair, Christian, but the reality is what I know about this head coach is he finds a way. And whether it's an onside kick in the third quarter, whether it's the timeout and gives Philly an extra possession, whether it's, let's say, against, goodness me, Minnesota not going for it, kicking a field goal with the kicker who only had one 50-yarder in his career, whether it's calling a timeout after you sack Lamar Jackson last year and then they convert on fourth down. The reality is I've got about 5-6 games under my belt now where I just see this guy find a way to lose. And yesterday is another reason. Did he make an astronomical coaching error? No, he didn't. But he didn't make any coaching decisions. They didn't make any adjustments.
No, not at all.
There was no halftime adjustment. There was no, hey, they're really moving the ball on us here going into the half. Hey, gee, what are we looking at? What do we see? What are they having success on? We want to take this away. We want to make them beat us this way. None of that. It was, hey, man, look, guys. Hey, way to score going into the half, man. Look, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, okay? Hey, man, it's going good. You just got to believe. We got to keep fighting. Yeah, that's not football, man.
No, it's not. And motivation can only go so far. At this point in time, also these players got to be held accountable. Like, there's literally no reason why we have two big-ass hogs in the middle and Lee McNeil and Bugs, and y'all guys are getting no pressure up the middle. No push.
It's
nothing.
so disrespectful that a second overall pick who, look, whether you like Adham Hutchinson or not, I don't care. The reality is he's getting double-teamed. A rookie. What does that say about your players that you just mentioned? They're not doing anything. Where's Charles Harris? Where is Aleem McNeil? Nobody. There is nobody. They're all MIA.
Yeah, you still don't
And the
have
reality is
the other
for this
guys.
football team, they're not going anywhere. Christian, we appreciate the call, man.
Appreciate it.
God. Look, fire Aaron Glenn. I gave you what I thought. Ultimatum. New England. If they put up more than 23, 24 points on this defense in Foxborough, with that roster, with Matt Patricia as the OC, with Bailey Zappi as the starting quarterback, you give up more than 24. Aaron Glenn, do me a favor. See the private jet we take to these games? See how we fly? Do me a favor. Go book economy and go home.
Well, that would mean back-to-back games you give up that many points to backup quarterbacks. Gino's not a starter. He
We're
played
not doing
well,
it.
but you can't. Yeah, that's inexcusable. And I could say that this defense needs more talent, but the reality is they are historically bad. Like, even if you said, okay, well, they need more talent, there's no way you're supposed to be giving up 48 to Gino. Well, excuse me, 41. Take away the pick six, but even 41. It's getting harder and harder to defend Aaron Glenn. It really is. So I'm going to give him that ultimatum. I'm with you. I don't think you should fire him right now. But if he doesn't figure it out, Adam.
I think Aaron Glenn, rightfully so, deserves all the heat this morning. When are we going to talk about the head coach?
There you go. Yeah.
Win. And I don't want to, but win. You guys tell me. How do you win and lose football games typically, right? What are the three most important things you really rely on coaching for, right? We'll start with going into the half, right? Typically, the good teams either get points or they make a stop going into the half. It gives them momentum. They come out with the ball or on defense and they make a play. They make a stop. They get some points. That's what good football teams do. None of that. Halftime adjustments. Coming out of the half and not making the same mistakes you made in the first half. Good coaches do that. I haven't seen it with this football team. Oh, wait. In the final 2 minutes, hell, even the last 4 minutes of a football game. What are you doing to position yourself to win the football game? Not much. And again, phone lines are open.
This is my issue too, Adam. I watched a New York team over the last 2 years with Joe Judge be a disaster. Okay? And then I watched Brian Dable and Joe Sheen walk in, and they have a winning record. What are they, 4-1? 3-1? That's the problem I have, is look at New York, and I get they have a really good defense. So offensively, they don't need to really do what the Lions are doing right now. They can score 20, 23 points and win games. But the reality is, you don't think Brian Dable's over there motivating? Like, motivating is getting to the point where it's a little overrated. Like,
I love this town. I love this town because for as smart as it is, I mean, the sports fans here, let's be honest, we've seen the Red Wings, the Tigers, the Pistons, championship organizations, championship runs.
Right.
We're sitting here talking about, Adam, blaming Campbell is such a lazy day. Is it? Is it? Netflix tomorrow puts out a job board for their CEO, right? They want to hire a new CEO. New CEO comes in the first 12 months, Netflix is down 17% in revenue. It's not the CEO's fault, right? Netflix is down 1 trillion minutes watched or whatever it may be year to year. Year over year, excuse me. It's not the CEO's fault. Who do we look at, right? We're going to blame the custodian. We're going to blame, I don't know, the head of sales, the head of marketing. Who are we going to blame if not the CEO? Who takes responsibility and ownership for what's going on out on the field outside of the CEO, which is Dan Campbell? When does that conversation happen? When does it happen? I'm telling you, if Netflix right now are looking for a new CEO. In 2021, they had 27% growth in revenue. And in 2022, his first full year in charge, they lose. They're down 13% from the year before. You think all the board members and all the stockholders and everybody else is going to be happy? Oh, man, CEOs doing... Hey, you know what? They're trying at Netflix. They're trying. They're giving their hardest. They're trying, man. You're down 13%. You're costing this franchise everything. And the reality is you can't find ways to win football games.
No.
You can't find ways to win football games. That's the reality of this team. That's the reality of the head coach you have. You damn near blew it against Washington. Again, Ben Johnson and company to the rescue. You somehow went into halftime shutting them out and came out playing worse. Seems like one team made halftime adjustments, the other didn't. You somehow made Seattle, who have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, look like they were fielding 5 Orlando Paces. Unbelievable. You couldn't get any pressure on one of the worst offensive lines, with Charles Cross, a rookie tackle, lining up. Point blank, Cody says, we don't have the roster to win. I'm sorry. That's a lie. I've seen this football team be the better team against Washington. I've seen them be the better team against Minnesota. I've seen them at times be better than the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. And you're going to sit here and tell me it's the talent. I don't think it's the talent, guys. Is the talent fully complete where you look top to bottom? No, it's not a contending roster. It's not a Super Bowl contender. No. Absolutely not. But there is enough talent on that team, especially if the Bears, the Giants, and some of these other teams. Hell, the Cowboys find ways to lose with their backup, and they have more of an excuse to suck than you do. If Jared Goff goes down, you have every right to lose football games. It is impossible to overcome the quarterback position. I agree with that 100%. Your injuries aren't insurmountable.
And they're mostly on the offense.
That's the issue I have. Not the defense.
Right.
Where's the coaching? It's not there.
Yeah.
You can look at AG for the next 2 weeks if you want. You can get rid of him. At the end of the day, there is one man in charge, and he's now blown through his offensive coordinator, Anthony Lynn, last year, and now his defensive coordinator, and Aaron Glenn. How many more times do I just let him get rid of the guys and bring in new guys until, hey, you know what, maybe this guy isn't getting it all together? And we're talking simple things, communication, not over-pursuing. They are biting. It's like a rat. It's like a mouse biting at the cheese. Every opportunity it gets, you set the trap and they bite on it. That's the reality of this football team.
And saying this team doesn't have the roster to win, I disagree. Win to me would be 2-2 minimum. This roster should be 2-2. If you want to say 3-1, go ahead. I'm not going to disagree with you. But the fact that you're 1-3 is the issue, and you're last in the NFC North when we know they're probably, you could argue, just under the Vikings or the Packers. I mean, they're not there yet. But this defense is even worse than we imagined. I know they don't have the talent, which is a good argument.
Free Hefe.
They don't have Romeo Okwara. They don't have a lot of guys. But there's no excuse why they should be this bad. This is historically bad. I mean, 48 to Geno when they score 47 in their first 3 games is inexcusable. And that's the problem we have. And I have with Aaron Glenn so far.
Let's go out to Detroit. We have Eric. We have Eric on the morning show. Eric, what do you got for us, buddy?
What's up, guys? This is Eric from the chat.
What's up, man?
Nothing much. Man, it's so funny, y'all. It's so funny. This team is horrible. Like, this defense shouldn't even have a ranking. This should just say NA. Because they don't exist. Like, you run the same plays over and over and over. Geno was looking like the second coming of Russell Wilson yesterday. And it's frustrating because it's like Aaron Glenn. Do you not see they're making they're doing the same play, the roll out to the tight end? Why would you do on the 4th and 5 an all-out blitz and leave the run gap open? I can run through that. Like, then you do it again at the end of the game when they're trying to run off the clock. They're not going to pass the ball, dude. It's basic high school football.
Yeah, look,
and
at the end of the day, Eric, we're going to keep having this conversation. This is coaching.
And it's funny to me because it's like, Jeff, you know, in the chat, I'm a big Jared Goff I'll be like, he ain't the guy. But I can't even say nothing about Goff. Goff didn't play up to the standards the last 2 games, and I said it. I was like, this the game Goff should go out and beat them himself. He pretty much almost did. TJ lit the world on fire, but you give up 45. You score 45, you give up 48. What sense does that make? You can score all the points in the world, but you can't win the game.
Aiden Hutchinson said it best, man. If they score 45, we got to win that game. Like,
man,
congratulations.
At this point, we can score 50. It won't matter. We can score 55, and they will score 56. And it's like, I know we ain't got the players. I know, but it's like it's the coaching and it's the players. It's like, how many times the linebackers going to run out that gap assignment? Only person I see standing in this gap is Malcolm Rodriguez. If he runs out his gap, he gets an excuse. He's a rookie, a 6th-round rookie at that. But Anzalone, I will put him on the bus. He can get out of here. Whoever else, you might as well just say, play the young guys. Play all the young guys, scrap the veterans. Michael Brockers, where is he at? He can wield the Thor hammer. He can wield the hammer of Thor. Who he ain't willing to hubcap right now.
Eric, you're 100% on the money, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for calling in this morning, bud. All right, when we get back, guys, continue the conversation. The reality is Dan Campbell and this football team continue to find ways to lose, and I'll dive into it more, but, again, I want you to really understand your frustration right now that's building up, that you're throwing onto Aaron Glenn, which is totally fair at the moment, but I really want you to step back and really listen to yourselves when you tell me Aaron Glenn now is the problem. Think about it, and I agree. It's not good at all. But what is happening here? This is a poorly coached football team that is overachieving on offense, that will not put 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 a game. It's just not a reality. And the truth is, if you're honest with yourselves, Philly and Seattle, look at those games. You were down. You were forced. You weren't able to play a normal game of football. Yeah, you're putting up points, but they're not legitimate. They're not. As much as I love the work Ben Johnson's doing, there is a sustainable issue here, or sustainability issue here, that is going to hit this team in the face. When we get back, we'll take more callers, 313-552-6322. We'll get to more callers in just a bit. Get your questions ready in the chat and on the phones. But before we do, I got to tell you about our good friends over at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. I got my haircut and my beard taken care of last week. They do a hell of a job as always. So make sure you get down to Lady Jane's. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. Their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. Get to a Lady Jane's near you. As always, Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, looking to buy or sell your home, whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for over 23 years makes Michael the number one option for anybody. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. That's 313-403-0011. Real estate needs, game on with Michael Phillips. I like the choice there, Fish. Well done. And we're back, 8:50 here on the Morning Woodward Show. We'll just come out the gate with Mark out in Fenton. Mark, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us, buddy?
And look, I'll just get to it. I know that we've been talking about this crazy coaching staff and the ups and downs of the teams, but I've been a Lions fan for a long time, unfortunately. Lots of trauma from that. But talk about that third down play that was blown up after we already stopped them. I mean, if you've been a Lions fan for a long time, it does feel like it's Detroit versus everybody. And I'm not trying to give Jared Goff or Dan Campbell or the coaching staff an out here, but come on, man. It just feels like as soon as we're going to turn the corner, we get a bad call or we get some just universe-shattering event that just turns the game away. I mean,
if I may, Mark, let's say I give you that, and I think it's fair to some degree, but maybe only 5% of it, because it's still 3rd and 16, and no team in the NFL, unless Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, along with Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs are lined up there, should be able to convert a 3rd and 16, especially after the whole mistake, right? You blow up the play. Oh, what's going on? It's, oh, well, you know what? 3rd and 16, you give up a touchdown, actually. I mean,
they haven't punted. They haven't punted.
Again, as much as you probably have a gripe with it, and it's fair, hey, it should have standed, you know, whatever happened. But the reality is, Mark, they gave up a touchdown on that play, on a draw.
I'm not arguing it. I mean, I think at that point, the score was like 30 or just some astronomical score. There's no excuse for it. But this team has shown they only have one stop in them. And when you take it away, that's the game. That's it.
They're showing they have one stop. Hell, I would have taken a stop yesterday. I think it's sad we're in this spot, Jeff. It is.
No, it's depressing. It's considering how much Brad Holmes has invested in this defense. And again, Brad Holmes, you got to at least hold him to the fire a little bit. Brad Holmes is probably the best general manager we've had in terms of identifying talent, but defensively, he's taken, 10 players in the last 2 drafts defensively? A lot of those guys either aren't available. I mean, Malcolm Rodriguez, don't get me wrong, he's probably the best player on the field yesterday. But on top of that, like, it's sad. I mean, he's adding defensive players, but they're not, this defense regressed. So that's my issue I have, and that's where Aaron Glenn comes in the conversation. That's why it's the day we ask these questions, because this year, I just want to talk to the people. Do you still want a quarterback?
I think you're a little ahead of yourself
no,
here,
I'm
and I'll tell you why.
I'm not, because this conversation about we need a quarterback.
What do you and I call Jared Goff?
He's a bridge quarterback.
Thank you. That's it. Answered. You have the answer. You have 2-3 years to make that decision. I'm not too worried about it.
You don't have to make it next year.
Right now.
You don't have to make it this draft.
Having said that, to Mark's point, and Mark, by the way, thanks for calling in. I'm going to kind of build off of this one. It's actually a very valid point, which is, as right as he is, that, we should have been off the field. It was 3rd and 16. And you let a draw play go to the house, right? And eventually the conversation needs to switch from the refs always cost us the game, Adam. It's always something. It's this. It's something. He blew the whistle. He didn't. He picked up the flag. Whatever it is. What is it your football team didn't execute? What is it your football team isn't playing to a level that, I don't know, average would be nice? Overachieving on offense, historically underachieving on defense. That's coaching. And for some way, somehow, some rhyme or reason, right? The reality is through 4 games, you, Dan Campbell, you, Aaron Glenn, even Ben Johnson, you, that coaching staff, your players, your assistants, Randall L., Deuce Staley, everybody in that building, you failed to put together 4 quarters. That's the reality. And in the NFL, there is no important quarter than the 4th quarter. But you have failed to be even-keeled for 4 quarters. You have your moments, and then you spike down. And it's back up, and it's back down. And that's not how you win in this football league. Now, you can get away with it when Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, one of these guys are your quarterback. Yeah, you can give up 38, 45, and still have a chance to win, for sure. Not when you're in year 2 trying to establish, quote, a culture, man. And you're now 1-3, staring down the barrel of 1-4 going into a bye week. On the road to Dallas, by the way, you've never won a road game with this head coach yet. Where's the coaching? Where is the coaching? That's my question. Where is the coaching? It's non-existent. And you can't just cherry pick, well, this is good and this isn't, and he does this good and he does that not so good. It's not how it works. Head coaches are defined by wins and losses. Your coordinators are defined by the success they have on a specific side of the ball. Ben Johnson right now, hyper successful. Aaron Glenn, super loser. Dan Campbell's responsible for both. And you know what his record is? 1-3. You know what his career record is? 4-15-1. Or 4-16-1, excuse me. That's how you are defined as a coach in this league. You're not a coordinator to get away with your team losing. Ben Johnson right now is going to get a job in the open market at the end of the year probably. Why? He's auditioning. As a coordinator, he's doing a phenomenal job. He's resurrected Jared Goff. Nobody cares that they're a one-win football team right now. But they do for Dan Campbell. Why? He's the head coach. Last I checked, the head coach hoists the Lombardi at the end of the year. Is that not correct, Jeff?
That is true.
Is it not the head coach who gets the credit for wins and losses? Mm-hmm. Here we go. Let's go to Will out in Atlanta. Will, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, man. Good morning to y'all, man.
Good morning.
Good morning. Loss. But yeah, I'm with you, Adam, man. At some point, you got to look at the coaching, man. You know, we've probably in the last 10 years had, 2 good second-round draft picks, Swift and Slay.
Right.
So, the talent on the defensive side of the ball, you know, your Kirby Josephs, your Josh Pascals, you know, those guys aren't panning out. You know, they're hurt. Levi's hurt, you know. So, you know, high second-round picks that you're picking, they're not performing. They're not even playing. So, you know, I'm with you. At some point, you got to look at the head and the rah-rah stuff. It only goes for so long, you know, motivating. This is the X and O's league with talent. So, you know, I'm with you. If they lose to Patricia, you got to get rid of Glenn. I mean, it's that plain and simple.
Yeah, I like where you went there, Will, especially the ultimatum, right? If you can't get it done in Foxborough and you can't figure it out on defense, your offense goes out and puts another 24, 27 on the road, and you give up 30, 31, 34, yeah, just book Delta economy back home. Hell, take Spirit. We're not even going to pay for it. You can pay for it. You're not flying back with us. You're done.
You talking about Aaron Glenn?
I would fire him on the spot. And then you know what that immediately does? Dan Campbell's on the hot seat the moment that happens. Because now you've gone through 2 coordinators. You're 1-4 going into the bye week. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not that extreme. And what I mean by hot seat is you have no choice but to succeed with whoever you bring in.
Right.
Unless you're going to promote Aubrey Pleasant, maybe. But even then, is Aubrey Pleasant the Ben Johnson waiting for the chains to be released off of him? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not.
He got one of those right by the Anthony Lynn to Ben Johnson. So if you're going to fire Aaron Glenn, we'll see who he brings in. Maybe it's Aubrey Pleasant. He interviewed for the DC job.
I would
for
take
the Minnesota
Vic
Vikings.
Fangio at this point. Give me somebody,
More veteran.
that could just come in and fix it and make it a top 28 defense.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for. If you had the 28th ranked defense in the NFL right now, you would be 3-1, potentially 4-0. That's the reality. You don't force takeaways. You don't get any pressure on the quarterback. You can't stop the run. What the hell can you do?
Right. And I'm giving Dan this season. I'm not going to fire him, but I get it. Aaron Glenn, what's been going on with this defense is inexcusable. And for me, this defense might be better fitted for a veteran defensive coordinator. Who knows? Like a Vic Fangio, I know you brought him up, but you're just saying that. But anybody that's done this. Like
Should Matt Rule be fired?
Matt Rule, yeah, at this point.
Should Matt Rule be fired?
Yeah, at this point.
I need an honest answer.
You've seen enough of Matt Rule.
Because if you say yes, me and you both agree. Me and you both agree. But you know what the problem is? He needs time. This is only year 3 for Matt Rule.
Well, that's 3 years.
Well, that's the damn argument we're making for Dan.
It's been a year. It's a year and 4 games.
It's only year 2 out of 6, Adam.
It's actually not even full 2 years.
It's year 2 out of 6.
Right.
He's only in year 3 out of 7 or 8, whatever his contract was. I'm just saying.
But look at the talent he has defensively, and look at come on. I mean, I get what you're saying, but Matt Rule.
We just make excuses always. That's my problem.
It's not really an excuse. It's more so the reality.
The reality is he's 4-16-1. How much more time should I give him? He's entering Hugh Jackson territory.
What did Matt Rule walk into, and what did Dan walk into?
They both
I'm not trying to defend Dan.
They both walked into
Dan.
awful situations. And wait, hear me out.
Awful situations or awful teams?
Awful situations.
Okay.
awful situations, and then they revamped the defense. There's a lot of talent on that Carolina Panther defense. And going into early last season, they had the number 1 defense in the NFL. But the injury bug struck, and J.C. Horn got hurt. The linebacker got hurt. They had a few injuries. Whatever. They won 5 games last year.
Okay.
They go into this season. They suck. Matt Rule deserves to be fired. But there it is. What are we saying here? When we say it's only year 2, the NFL is the most professional parity league out there. There is so much parity in the NFL, and that's what makes the Lions' losses worse, is that you have every year, the worse you do, the easier your schedule is. Every 2-3 years, you should be winning your division. That is the NFL average. And we're saying now, it's only year 2. We need to give them till year 3, until we see all of year 3 to make a decision. Guys, I'm not sure what to tell you. Top of the hour, when we get back, Jared Goff, we're going to talk about him. The best bridge quarterback you could have asked for. What a job he's done to start the year. We have to give Jared Goff a lot of credit. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Try the great tasting cranberry, classic, or sugar-free. You can pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler box at CintronWorld.com/Red Wings.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Jeff Iafrate here. Let me tell you about our friends at Alta, because guys, at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You have a big project coming up, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you for joining us. Top of the hour, 9:03, Monday morning. Jeff, Jared Goff has been exceptional to start the year, and I want to get your thoughts on him before I lay out my vision for what this quarterback room looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Walk me through his play 4 games into the year.
Oh, it's exceptional. I mean, he's tied with Lamar Jackson for first in the NFL in passing touchdowns, and it's something we've known. You put talent around Jared Goff, you throw in good coaching, he's playing with confidence. You can win games with Jared. Now, if you have good defense, you can win games with Jared. Let's add that in. But what's impressed me the most is how he stepped up. Because we talked about this yesterday, Sunday. No Amon-Ra, no Chark, no DeAndre, 2 backup offensive linemen, and he still played good, besides that pick 6. But again, Jared, he's the perfect quarterback for this situation. That's what we've been echoing. Because it keeps your franchise stable. It allows you to continue to build out this roster, add more talent defensively, which I think the Lions should do this upcoming draft. And people think you could just draft Malik Willis or get any quarterback and turn this thing around. Jared Goff's playing at a high level right now, and you're 1-3. It's not just Jared. There's a lot of things that need to be worked on, especially defensively. And there's more to this than just your quarterback. So for me, Jared Goff has been playing exceptional. He's been playing well. I guess you want to throw in the 2 pick sixes. That's fine. He's still leading the NFL in touchdown passes. And look at his passing yards, again, without Amon-Ra, Chark. He just had TJ, still threw for over 300 yesterday. So nothing really for me to say too much on Jared. Listen, if you guys want to talk about drafting a quarterback next year, you're going to have to figure it out, because for me personally, it's the money. Paying Jared $30 million when you have to eventually extend him. I know you have him for 2 years. That's where I kind of get uneasy. But saying you need a new quarterback right now to be able to fix this, no, you need a new defense. So Jared, to me, Adam, has been playing some of the best football of his career. And I love what him and Ben Johnson have been able to do with this offense. So no complaints from me about Jared Goff in this offense. Zero.
Well, look, the reality is I don't want to hear anybody talking about drafting a quarterback right now. The quarterback position is the least of your concerns. Yes, 2 pick sixes, not ideal on the season, but 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 100 quarterback rating. He's playing exceptional. He's playing at a level higher than we even believed he could play at. What does that mean? Well, if the quarterback play isn't the problem, what's the problem now, right? Because I'm staring down 1 and 4. That's what I'm looking at.
Starts with D, ends.
It starts with the defense, but kind of where I'm getting at with Goff is this is what I want. I always use the Kansas City Chiefs model. And for all of you who have been listening for the longest time now, you know where I'm going with this. Give me a minute. Be patient. If Jared Goff can be to your franchise what Alex Smith was during the Kansas City years, that would be uber successful. That would be historically successful here for your franchise. That is what you're looking for Goff to do. So far, through 4 games, he's been very good. The offensive line has been as advertised. The run game as advertised. Playmaking ability out of Hockenson. Whoa, didn't expect that yesterday. Hell of a game from him. Well done. With no St. Brown, with no Swift, with no Chark. Does it with Reynolds, does it with Tom Kennedy. Does it with Cephas, doesn't matter who. Quarterback is the least of my concerns. Somehow, some way. And again, you guys are going to want to have this conversation whether you like it or not. Okay. Guys, I'm 28. All right? 4 weeks into the season. I don't want to have to be up here getting stressed out. Probably have to pop an Advil during the break. I don't have to do this. Probably an aspirin too. Who knows? I don't want to have to do this. But how many times? How many times is it there's always something? John Harbaugh yesterday. Pathetic decision down the stretch. Cost his team the game. Marcus Peters wants to kill him. It's John Harbaugh, though, right? It's Mike Tomlin, though, right? Proven guys. When is this man and Dan Campbell? And again, you guys can kill Aaron Glenn today. I'd give him an ultimatum. If you can't figure it out for New England, you can get rid of him. But why is it that everything else is holding back this head coach from winning? Why? The quarterback's playing at a level we haven't seen him play since his damn near MVP season back in 2018. That's the level he's playing at. Your run game is one of the best in the NFL. Your offensive line is one of the best in the NFL. Why is it everything has to be perfect for this football team to win? Why?
I don't know about perfect. You just need better play out of your defense, right? It's like me saying you gotta give him some credit because Ben Johnson deserves credit for the offense, but Dan Campbell's is the head coach right now where he does not control his offense. Listen, Ben Johnson, that is all you. He's probably more involved with the offense, but it's not like he's butting in Ben Johnson's ear telling him what to do. That's Ben Johnson's responsibility. Now, defensively, that's Aaron Glenn's responsibility. It's clearly not working out. Now, if you want to blame Dan Campbell because he brought in Aaron Glenn, that's fine. But in that case, I do agree. I don't think it's Dan's fault this defense is playing at a historically bad level, but I am with you. At times, there are points where you look at it like Minnesota, where there's decisions that ultimately cost you football games. I get that. But to say that the defense or everyone's pointing the finger elsewhere, I don't think that's the case. The reality is defense stinks. And that starts with Aaron Glenn. So that's deservedly so. But again, the whole Dan Campbell thing, I get where you're coming from. I just think it's too early to pull the pitchforks out and fire him. That's all I'm saying. You could be there, but
again,
I'm not there.
I'm not saying fire him. But when do we ask questions? When?
You can ask questions. There's a difference between asking
that's where I'm at
questions
this morning.
and firing.
Because, again, it's easy to pick on Aaron Glenn. I think rightfully so, he deserves all the criticism this morning. How can you not show up and make a team that in franchise history has never gone a whole game without punting? They did that against you. But Who oversees the whole thing?
Right.
Who oversees the practices,
trust me,
right?
I get that.
Who is
the halftime
responsible?
adjustments. Him butting into Aaron Glenn and being, listen, what's the game plan here? Because clearly it's not working out. I get that. But that's also Dan's fault. Why are you – he has to make those decisions because ultimately, if you lose, that's Dan Campbell's record. It's not Aaron Glenn's.
All right, let's go out to Detroit. Jakar joining us this morning. Jakar, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Hey, first of all, good morning, fellas.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, so Adam, man, I try my hardest to be a diehard Lions fan, but you put me in reality so many times throughout these days, man. I'm going with I was in love with Dan Campbell. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's clear, man. Once you see a hard knocks and you fall into it, and then the season starts, and your expectations change because a 7-win team. I wasn't with that at first, but that first game had me like, okay, I'm ready. The Lions can compete. This division is terrible this year, terrible. And we were supposed to beat Minnesota. Jared Goff, let's simplify it. All we need is Jared Goff from LA, but we also need that defense from LA. When this Aaron Glenn, as a defensive coordinator, your scheme gonna win you the game. We understand that John Kaminsky is hurt. We understand that we lost Tracy Walker. But when is your schemes going to win you these games?
Right.
Because the Seahawks have been terrible in the second half of every game this season. Why? Why?
Well, it's always something, though, right, Jakar? It's always something. And
always something.
And that's where I'm scratching my head this morning is it's always something. It's never on Monday I get to do a show, and Jakar, we get to have a conversation about, hey, you know what? They were just a better team, right? Or, hey, you know what? Josh Allen came to town, or Patrick Mahomes. And you know what? Hey, that's a Super Bowl contender. You got to take that loss on the chin. But it is Washington, Philly, Minnesota last week, and now this week Seattle. And it's, again, I agree. Yeah, Glenn, he deserves all the fire this week. If you want to kick him out of town today, I don't mind. But I have somebody who I have to hold accountable at the end of the day because the head coach makes the millions. The head coach is the CEO. And, look, I don't want to fire him right now. I wouldn't pull the trigger on him right now. But that's irrelevant. That doesn't stop me from asking questions that, it is uncomfortable. I don't want to have to be talking about the future of the head coaching position for the Detroit Lions 4 games into the year. But, boy, they lose in Foxborough on Sunday? Yeah, okay, you guys get ready for that show. They may have to pull me off the show on Monday if they lose to the Patriots. I might get pulled.
Hey, if Bailey Zapp drops 300 yards on you, we're going to listen. We're going to have some tough conversations.
Appreciate well done, man. All right, let's go to Ron out in Detroit as well. He lives in Cincinnati, though. What's up, Ron? What do you got for us?
Good morning, guys. Hey, I'm from Detroit. I was born and raised, but I've been living out of town for like the last 15 years. And everybody knows I'm a Lions fan where I go. And I just get like, this is like going to be the week. Because I usually have a little bit of hope while you go into the season. Everybody has to admit. Even I heard Braylon Edwards said 5-6 games, but he said maybe they can sneak into the playoffs. When it's just over, you know it's 4 weeks in, and it's over already. And then you have to, because when people trash you, you're like, oh, you have a little bit of hope. Like, no, we can, But then when they trash you, then you have no hope. Like, I literally had no hope for the rest of the year.
And that's the frustrating part. We're 4 games in, and I don't want to do the show. I don't think you want to listen to this kind of show. I don't want to do this.
No, it's terrible. I mean, because I talk a lot of trash, but like when the trash actually stings a little bit because you actually know deep in your heart that you have no chance, that's when it really sucks. And the rest of the season is going to suck. If he loses to Zappy, he needs to be take his shirt off. Take Aaron Glenn's shirt off. Take his Lions gear off. Make him walk to the locker room with no shirt. Literally, no shirt. Take it off.
Fair enough. Well, Ron, we appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, when we get back, take a quick pause. I need a deep breath.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something positive.
Take some blood pressure medicine. We'll come back.
Oh, by the way. Oh, my God.
What in the hell?
Did you guys not see what happened on Saturday? I did. And then what happened on Sunday?
Your Spartans got...
Scott Hazelton. Scott Hazelton coached and called a game in Maryland.
Yeah.
Flew to Detroit and was on the sideline calling plays for the Lions defense. I didn't know Aaron Glenn and Scott Hazelton were the same person.
No, they're not.
They are.
No,
they are.
not.
You can't convince me otherwise. There's no difference. Having said that, when we get back, J.J. McCarthy leads the Michigan Wolverines on the road along with Blake Corum. They beat Iowa, where top teams go to die. Michigan go and secure the W. Big win for Michigan football over the weekend. Michigan State suck. That's all I can say. Best defense on and off the field that clearly Michigan State or the Lions know about. Jeff Iafrate.
If there's anything I learned from watching the Lions game, I know what a bad defense looks like. I know what a good defense looks like, too. It's Guardian Alarm. Guys, fall is here, and you're still spending time outside. Let Guardian Alarm give you peace of mind while you are out enjoying the fall. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT today, and you can rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Tell them, Fish. Let them know your friends at Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
If you ever felt like you were going to die watching the game yesterday, I have the place for you. It's Mark at Swiss Insurance. Time to talk about Swiss. Not Turkey and Swiss, by the way. Swiss Insurance Group. Mark and his awesome team at Swiss Insurance want to remind you that September is National Life Insurance Awareness Month. Swiss can save you money on home and auto, resulting in no additional out-of-your-pocket for your life insurance needs. Reach out to the team at Swiss Insurance Group. Their experts will provide you with financial peace if the unexpected happens.
You know what? Look, truth is, as much as I want to talk about Michigan football right now, the people have made it clear what they want. The people want to talk about the Lions.
Let's stay on it.
We've got way too many callers in queue. I don't want to keep them waiting. We'll go to Michael. Michael, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Adam, Jeff, big fan of your show, guys. I appreciate all what you do.
Appreciate you,
Michael.
So, hey, Adam, I got to just say, I'm with you, man, the Lions. Okay, I'm a big Lions fan over the last 25 years, watching this team grow. You're great. It is the coaching. Now, it is year 2. Okay, I'm not hitting the panic button yet. Okay, I didn't expect this team to get at least 6-7 wins this season. That's it. They were going to make the playoffs. They're not there yet. They don't have the pieces yet.
Right.
They don't have the coaching. And I think you're right, Jeff. I don't want to see a coach learn on the job. And that's kind of what's happening right now. So what I'm saying here is by Thanksgiving, then I'm going to start hitting the panic button. I want to see how Aaron Glenn responds. I think he's going to be able to fix this issue. I really do. Because you got to be honest, guys. He did a hell of a job last year with nothing. I really want to give this guy some time. Wait till Thanksgiving. And, Adam, you say you hit the nail on the head. Year 3. Because the Lions have no salary cap money. They have no money. They're still paying players that are not even playing on this team anymore. So I really think with a lot more salary cap, another 2 first-round picks, I think we're going to probably – I don't know if we're going to draft a quarterback. We'll see how Jared Goff does. But last thing I'll say is year 3 is when I'm expecting playoff team, division champs, NFC championship. That's what I'm seeing. If they spend the money right and draft the right players.
Michael, I think we all see the potential with the offense. We love the coordinator currently on the offensive side of the ball. You make a valid point. Last year, we weren't having a conversation about, man, Aaron Glenn isn't a good coordinator. The conversation was, my goodness, he's overachieving. But now we're 4 games in.
Yeah.
All right. What are you on pace for right now? Michael said 6-7 wins. I said 7 wins going into the year. I think that was a fair number.
Definitely.
What are you on pace for right now? 4 wins. You're on pace for 4 wins. And that is optically completely different than a 7-10 football team. And Michael, what kills me is I think they're better than not only their record it would indicate, I think they're better than even what their coaching is even putting out on the field. It doesn't add up to me. Last year it was the offense. Now somehow, some way, after a first round pick with Adham Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Pascal hasn't yet to see the field, but you get Jeff Okudah back. Somehow, some way, you make a few signings. You bring in, who was it, Chris Board. Somehow, some way.
Deshaun Elliott has been good,
Deshaun
too.
Elliott.
You still don't have.
You're still not.
Yeah.
You somehow got worse.
Yeah, you still don't have some guys, but you're right. You should not regress.
Michigan State had the worst secondary in the country last year. They're worse. You know how hard that is to do?
It's hard. It's hard to regress.
The Lions are somehow worse on defense. Michael, I wish there was a clear explanation. Like I mentioned earlier, I wish there was a team that would just come to down. You know what? They were a better football team. They played a more complete game, and they beat the Lions. I could live with it. I can't live with losses to Seattle. I can't sleep at night throwing away a road win in Minnesota. Can't do that.
And I love that Michael, by the way, because I agree with everything you're saying, Adam, but I love that Michael brought up, you want to give him until Thanksgiving, to at least give him the chance to figure it out. If you can't, listen, you got to go. Yeah, yeah, Glenn. Because I think that's the right approach. And listen, Glenn's overachieved last year, but you're right. There is no defense, no pun intended, for Aaron Glenn to be able to regress with the talent that's been added. Even if the defense isn't that talented, you're the worst in the NFL by far. There's no excuse for that. Zero. Even without Tracy Walker. Or
look,
Romeo
Michael,
Poor.
we appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much. We're going to go to David now. David, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us, buddy? Hello?
Oh, we lost him?
I think we lost David. No problem. Whew. Deep breath. Deep breath. We'll go to Kenny. Then we'll wrap up. We'll hit Michigan football in a little bit. Kenny, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us, buddy?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, man. I've been a Lions fan for the last, 30 years, man, and just watching this team, over and over again find some way to screw things up. But I'm going to tell you some positive things about this team, and that's Jared Goff. That's just the reality right now, man. He's playing at a high caliber game right now, man, and I really believe that if Aaron Glenn gets his crap together, we can win because we're putting up major points right now with hurt players. And we got to give Jared Goff, his credit, man. He's really carrying this team. He's the leader of this team. But like you guys said about the coaching with Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell looks kind of lost on the sideline. Did you guys see him yesterday? Like between him and Pete Carroll, like how involved Pete Carroll is.
Oh yeah,
Dan Campbell just got this.
I'll show you the difference. This was Dan Campbell on the sideline yesterday.
With his hands on the hip. With his hands on his hips.
He's doing it right now.
Just, you got to be involved. Smack some players in the head. You got to be fired up. And he talks about this. These are grown men we're talking about.
Right.
You have to be more involved as a head coach. You make those final calls at the end of the day. And like you said, somebody holds a Lombardi trophy at the end of the year, and it's not going to be Aaron Glenn. It would be Dan Campbell. He gets all the praise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're
But at
spot
the end
on.
of the day, man, this draft coming in, we're going to have to invest in the defense. And this may sound crazy to you, Adam, and you may not agree with me. I said we pay Jared Goff.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, the problem I have is I don't have to make that decision, Kenny. I don't. He's under contract for 2 more seasons after this. I'm in no rush to extend him. He is contractually obliged to play football for this football team for as long as I see fit. I don't have to make the decision. The reality is he's playing at a hell of a level, and there are only 5 quarterbacks, notable quarterbacks. Really only 4 because 2 is injured at the moment, and that's Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, who have a better quarterback rating in the NFL currently than Jared Goff. That says something about his play and his ability going forward. He's done a hell of a job so far. Appreciate the call. Thank you for calling, Kenny.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, look, man. A lot of people, all the Jared Goff believers going into the year, so far, looking very good.
Mm-hmm.
I have no issue with it. He's played better than I think anybody could have expected.
Right.
Ben Johnson clearly has done something there. I think it is a confidence thing as well. We talked about it on the Sunday show with Maz. Hey, you know what? The reality is this is a guy who was basically dumped by his former team, right? Casted away to one of the worst offensive rosters in the NFL, and he struggled. And then he got a whole offseason to kind of recoup mentally. And I believe I think he proposed or got married. Excuse me if I forgot. And then he goes into this year, more weapons, more talent, Swift, offensive line, St. Brown, Chark, Reynolds, etc. Oh, there's something there. He's done well so far. He's done well for himself. He's definitely done well for himself. Coming up in about 4 minutes, we'll get to TJ Hockenson, his career game. My goodness, the first time since 2019, his NFL debut, Jeff, that he posted more than 100 yards receiving through the air. That was quite special. We'll get to Aidan Hutchinson, where the hell he is, what's going on with Aidan Hutchinson at 9:49. But for the next 3 minutes, I want to talk a little bit of Michigan football and Michigan State. We'll start with Michigan State. I think I can sum up the entire weekend for every State fan by saying this.
What was that?
Garbage. Crap.
Here we go.
Suck.
From one DC to another
Michigan
DC.
State sucked. They couldn't defend anything. If Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense played against that team, they would drop 170. Having said that, Michigan State suck. They're 2-3.
Yeah, and their offense.
It's not a good year. Michigan State fans, put your hard hat on. Just deal with all the bashing you're going to get over the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 weeks, however long it is. Enjoy it. Embrace it. It's still year 2, technically, in my opinion, of Mel Tucker. I'm not too worried. But still, they look awful. A team that didn't look awful, the 5-0 Michigan Wolverines, who probably will enter the top 3 after this upcoming.
Hey, you thinking about hitting free agency again, or
who?
Or what, you?
No, I'm committed to Michigan State.
Okay, all right. I just want to do a little health check on
what
you.
do I look like, LeBron James?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm sticking with State.
All
Having
right,
said that,
just
Michigan,
double-checking.
go on the road. J.J. McCarthy, I was told, turnover prone, can't make the throws, can't take what's given to him by the defense, can't do all of these things. On the road, where top 5 teams go to die, he has a damn near perfect game. Not bad if you ask me. Hell of a job by J.J. McCarthy in Michigan. Well done. When we get back, TJ Hockenson, what a performance. 8 catches, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. I apologize to all of you who played him in fantasy, or played against him, I should say. That sucks. I apologize. Not good for you. Having said that, we'll be right back in just a bit. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over. Big boy. Or excuse me, Odds Trader.
Guys, let me tell you about Odds Trader, because listen, if you're betting on the games yesterday, you might have hit some, you might have lost some, but I'll tell you what, go to oddstraderrightnow.com is the #1 site for your game day bets. They have the play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price from every game from multiple sports books. I'm a very convenient guy. For me, Odds Trader works the best. You go on there, you see all the different sports books, makes your life a whole lot easier. Go to oddstrader.com right now for your best bet.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Let me tell you about our friends at Chili Peppers Tanning, because, guys, you can join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. You'll get all the best deals, plus they will be all competitors by $5. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans, 26 locations, and more on the way. Tell them, Fish.
All right. Thank you, Fish. We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, 9:29. TJ Hockenson, quite the career game. 8 receptions, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was everything you thought he could be on Sunday. For the last 3 years, going into the 4th year, Where's TJ Hockenson? He teased you game 1. He never came remotely close to it for the next 2-3 years. And now it's year 4. Struggles to start the season. Back against the wall. Everybody's hurt.
He's Eric Ebron.
His time to be the primary guy. And he stepped up.
He did.
He did. And they still lost, which is even more infuriating. But he played a hell of a game. And it's a whole new dimension for this offense if they can keep him going while still having DeAndre Swift, while still having Amon-Ra St. Brown be a part of the offense. That is a deal breaker. If I get 50% of that on a weekly basis, he is a top 3, top 4 tight end. Only 50% of that. You give me 50% of that on a weekly basis, he is one of the 3 best tight ends in football.
Ooh.
That's his potential.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I would say top 5.
Can he do it? That's a whole different conversation. But he showed out his potential on Sunday. That's the reality.
And I think that's what he did. And also, we talk about his ability to run block, and it hasn't been that good. But what he did yesterday was fantastic. We talked about it Sunday with me, Adam, and Maz on the Lions pregame show. He's the one that needs to step up. You're going to have 10 to 12 targets. He had 12 targets. He caught 8 balls for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. Caught the 2-point conversion. And this is what I think, for me, separates from Eric Ebron. Because, and I get the numbers align, but in overall, TJ has a much higher ceiling to me. He just has to, it's about showing up on a consistent basis, and he hasn't done that. Now, can he do it moving forward? Because we talked about it. How can you utilize TJ differently? Because we saw a lot of 5-yard out routes. Now we got to see him yards after the catch, you know, through the seams. We got to see him kind of downfield, you know, vertically. And that's what you need TJ to be. I mean, he can do it. He had that like 50-yard run. He's running in traffic, stiff-arming guys. I'm like, who is this guy? It's TJ, man. And I get it. We could sit here and argue drafting him 8th overall, but the reality is he's on your team, and you're going to have to decide next year if you're going to pay him. If you
give me
can keep
more
this
of that.
Exactly. Give me more of what you did. Yeah, you don't got to give me 179 yards, but if you can give me, like you said, 50%, 80,
give me 6 for
70,
64, 5 for 74, something along those lines. And
But-
I will gladly I will bring out the Brinks truck for you.
And this is what I'm confused about, Adam, because he walked into this game yesterday against Seattle being the focal point defensively. Previous games, he wasn't, and he struggled. But he comes in, he's the vocal point, and he has 180 yards. Like, we know what he can do.
Well,
he's going to be...
context. And I don't mean to take away from TJ.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about it before the show last night.
What
Holy hell, what
would
a
be the
performance.
context?
They were down, right? And Seattle is playing a defense that is, hey, keep everything in front of you. Now, the 80-yard catch.
Wait, like that's...
I mean, that
really,
was just push him out of bounds. They failed to do it. The guy goes 80 yards. I mean, the rest is history, but that doesn't take away from his performance.
But they played down versus the Eagles, Adam. Like,
which is odd, right? And that's kind of where I get a little confused here is, man, I hope this isn't another, I have to wait 3 years to get another performance like that. I hope I don't have to wait over 3 years for another game where you get over 100 yards receiving. The talent was there yesterday. I think we all agree. And when we had the Eric Ebron conversations, what was always the caveat we would talk about? We all agree in the room and in the chat, Eric Ebron, or excuse me, TJ Hockenson, has uber more potential than Eric Ebron. We all agreed. Still had the same stat line through 40 games. Right? That's the frustrating part. Yesterday, he showed you exactly why he was regarded as one of the top picks in the NFL draft that year. I hope I don't have to go another 3 years to see it again.
Right.
Let's go to the people. Richard out in Kalamazoo. Richard, you're on the Morning Woodward Show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I just got a couple of things. I hear a lot of fans complain about Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn, but I don't feel like that's the problem. This problem has started at the top since day one, and I feel like John Dorsey and Brad Holmes are on 2 different pages. This team doesn't have any type of franchise-changing players on either side of the ball. Don't get me wrong, even though Jared Goff is godfather into being the franchise player due to a trade, but Jared Goff has never been nothing more than just a game manager without a superstar running back. And our running back can never stay healthy.
Right.
That's a question mark. But outside of that, the defense doesn't have any type of identity. And you have to look at the top. You have to look at Brad Holmes as a second-year general manager, Dan Campbell, second-year coach, Aaron Glenn, second-year defensive coordinator, Ben Johnson's first year. It's nothing but rookies coaching. You have no type of veteran leadership either side of the ball that can sit down and talk to Dan Campbell is a problem and make a scheme. Aaron Glenn's schemes is terrible. When you're all out blitzing on 3rd and 15, it makes no sense.
Yeah, Richard, you know what? The point about, let's start with Holmes, the franchise-changing player comment. You know, a player right now I think we're taking for granted, obviously, because of the losing doesn't help, which is he absolutely hit the nail on the head with Penei Sewell, right?
Yeah.
So his first draft, he gets you a Penei Sewell. Second round, Levi Onwuzurike, not ideal, not playing, not good when he plays. He's always hurt, all right? You missed. Third round,
Alim
McNeil, okay.
Serviceable.
He's a player, he can start in the NFL. He's a starter in the NFL. He got you a starter.
Derek Barnes.
Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round, arguably a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL before he got hurt.
Right.
So the first draft, I already saw 2 franchise-changing players. We go to this upcoming draft, I'm 4 games in. I can't throw Aiden under the bus. Jameson Williams was the best wide receiver going into that draft class. He would have been the first one taken had he not injured and torn his ACL. It's that simple. So you got him. You're waiting for him to rehab. It's so incomplete right now that I'm not even worrying about Brad Holmes, given he's addressed the salary cap. He's made no future long-term commitment contracts, which is well appreciated on my end. He's fixed the books. He's done a lot of good things. Oh, he has for 2 first-round picks. Oh, he traded up 20 spots in the first round for basically a 3rd-round pick. My concern this morning is not the talent that is being brought in. Do I want to see Pascal? Do I want to see J-Mo? Yes. Do I want to see Levi be a damn 2nd-round pick? Yeah, I do. But so far, in draft 1, he got you 2 studs. If you walk away with 2 studs in this draft class, you would have done what Kansas City, the Chargers, the Bills, and all these damn good teams in the NFL do, which is stack quality draft classes. The Chargers can go out and get Rashawn Slater, Asante Samuel, Justin Herbert. They can go out and get, I forget his name, my goodness, on the defensive side, Derwin James.
Yep, Derwin James.
You go out and get these kind of players. Tranquil in the 5th round, your starting linebacker. Joey Bosa. You go out and draft quality players, and that's over a 5-6 year period. Brad Holmes has had 2 drafts. He is the least of my concerns. We have not sat here and had to have the Ebron Donald discussion. The job at best, the this, the that. We haven't done that, and I'm not even worried about that. We all saw this football team outplay the Minnesota Vikings. They lost. Is that Brad Holmes' fault? We saw this football team put up 45 points
and lose
with players that Holmes picked up from the practice squad or free agency and the draft and whatever it may be. And they lost. Is that the GM's fault? I'm not ready for a GM conversation until he's made 2 marquee decisions, head coach and quarterback. Until he does that, it would take him completely missing on a 1st-round draft pick, which he's yet to do, for me to be convinced otherwise.
Yeah, I got to give him some time to spend money in free agency. He hasn't even done that yet. So I think we're getting a little too ahead of ourselves right now.
You're going to want to mix veterans with this team.
Right.
Everybody understands that.
Second youngest team in the NFL.
We don't call them division contenders. That's why we don't call them conference contenders. All right. Appreciate the call, Richard. Well done. We'll go out to George. George, you're on the Morning Woodward Show, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going good, George.
I just wanted to say, yeah, I think that we're just getting a little crazy about the whole firing everyone in the whole organization that's making the moves right now, like Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, all of them. I'd say the biggest people are Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. They're on maybe a hot seat, you could say, but nothing crazy.
Right.
Only like in our 2nd season. Even Jeff said it at the beginning, before we even started the season. If we even see a little bit of improvement, that would be pretty good, which so far we've seen after 4 games, but there's still some issues like these decisions that they're making during the game, definitely.
The reality is, here are a few players that are only ahead of Aiden Hutchinson, for example, in terms of double teaming. You have Micah Parsons, you have Nick Bosa, Aaron Donald. Those are the players that see a lot of attention. But the reality is, Aiden Hutchinson, For all you, anybody, and it's open season again, everybody's frustrated right now. I get it. But he does have 3 sacks through 4 games. He's on pace for 12 sacks. He does lead all rookies in pass rushing. Look, again, it's not pretty. I watched what you guys watched. It wasn't pretty. I didn't like the performance. I didn't like it at all. He gets double teamed almost every opportunity the opposing team gets. They run towards him. They run away from him.
Right.
And then, like they do, like any team should, they take advantage of him being a naive rookie who isn't getting coached well enough at the moment. Because they'll run play action, they'll bootleg, he over pursues, the quarterback rolls out, hits the tight end, wide receiver, fullback, running back, whoever it is underneath, and they go 10, 15, 20 yards downfield. Adham Hutchinson's fault? Yes, it is. Coaching? Yeah, that too.
It's also the rest of the defensive line, I could argue.
Charles Harris, what's he done?
Because we talk about, remember we used to make the comparison to, Adham being drafted number 2 and Ndamukong Suh being drafted number 2. Ndamukong Suh had, look at the talent he had on the defensive line. So
Thank you.
And I'm not saying Ndamukong Suh is a beast, but what I am saying is that benefits you. Adham doesn't have talent. He's getting doubled already. And I'm not saying that's any excuse. No, he's got to play better. But I'm going to give him more time before I overreact and say, he's a bust. I mean, that's a little too premature to me.
I do agree with you. Let's take a quick pause. When we get back, continue the Adham Hutchinson conversation. We'll get to the people, final thoughts on the game from Sunday, and then we'll go to Mailbag where we'll answer all of your questions in the chat. That and so much more coming up. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Big Boy.
Guys, let me tell you about our friends at Big Boy. And for a limited time only, they have the all-new burgers and loaded fries. At Big Boy, it's not just a Slim Jim. They have the Big Jim. They also have the chili cheeseburger and the bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries as well? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Woo! What a Sunday.
No.
What a performance by this defense.
No, shut up, Jared. I lost in fantasy football this weekend in my big money league.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny? I won.
I beat Gentry, or not Gentry, excuse me,
Right.
Lentz in our league, though, so I'm 3-1 now.
I would be 4-0 in both my leagues, but I'm 4-0 in the work league. But in my friend's league, I'm 3-1. You know why? I lost to the highest scoring team. If I would have faced anybody else, I would have won.
No,
that's the unfortunate part of those situations.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It means you got a good team, though. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Let's go out to Gabriel in Oklahoma. Gabriel, you're on the Morning Woodward Show.
What up, Gabriel?
Well, how you doing? Enjoy the show always.
Appreciate you, man.
So I've just been listening and watching all the comments coming through, talking about Aaron Glenn and his scheme. I think the scheme works. I think it is a personnel issue. And being that the NFL is just so hard to gauge trades, with Dan Campbell coming out in the after-game press conference talking about he'll be looking at personnel and everything like that, what do we expect from that being the conversation right now?
Number one, if you do me a favor, kill that rooster in the background. Number two, look, Gabriel, as much as as easy as it. God, Fish, did you know there was a rooster in the background? What?
Oh, dude, I'm crying.
God bless you, Fish. Well, look, Gabriel, personnel-wise, I'm sorry, I don't see the excuses. Losing Tracy Walker, fine, fair. Every team has to deal with it. Seattle lost excuse me. Seattle lost, what's his name?
Jamal Adams. Yeah.
Jamal Adams, thank you.
Adams.
You just got to find a way. You just got to find a way. It is absolutely frustrating. I'm losing my mind here. I really am. That rooster threw me off completely, so we're going to move on.
Oh my god, I'm crying, dude. Listen, the only thing I don't agree with him about is the scheme. Because listen, I get it, the personnel is an issue, but that scheme, it's not working out, man. Sorry.
All right, look, guys, FYI, moving forward, if you do have a rooster and you're calling in, do me a favor, put it on the chopping block, cut it first, and then...
I mean, you should be in my position. I've had roosters in my ear, babies in my ear, crying children. So, welcome to...
You're doing a great job.
You just said it so nonchalant. You're
doing a great job,
do me a favor, just kill
Fish.
that rooster. You just kept going.
Oh, man.
God.
All right, look.
I needed that today.
We'll go to the chat right now.
Yes.
We'll go to the chat. A defense that crumbles when they lose one player is not coached or planned to an NFL level, says Stephen Baffy. And you know what? Again, if you want to move Dan Campbell away from this conversation, let's say we do this. Okay? And we just focus on Aaron Glenn. This is the same Aaron Glenn that kept you in games last year. So I'm really struggling now with more talent that he has available to him.
Right.
And now Jeff Okudah back. Awarie healthy. So you're telling me, what is this team missing? Right? If you want to point out personnel, I agree. It's not the most talented defense.
But what you're saying is scheme.
But schematically,
yeah.
You look at around the league, there are teams that have just as bad of a defense personnel-wise that can figure it out. And that's where coaching comes into play. Not only the defensive coordinator, your head coach as well.
Absolutely. And that's why, listen, Aaron Glenn last year deserves all the credit for keeping them in games, although they were bad statistically. But for them this year to have, you drop Aiden in there. You drop a 6th-round Malcolm Rodriguez in there. You have Jeff Okudah back. And they're still this bad. Now a year under Aaron Glenn. They should get better under Aaron Glenn. But, yeah, it's the opposite. And that's why he needs to be held accountable. Now, should he be fired right now? I don't think so. But I think a hot seat is that's a fair statement.
Yeah. It's the reality. It's the reality. Now you have to go on the road, Foxborough, and face off against Bailey Zappi.
Jeez. Huh. Then you go to Dallas after that.
Cooper Rush. Dak is actually probably going to be back by then. But the point is...
Yeah.
How much... You know what's funny? I'm sorry to backtrack here, but this just came to my head. Hockenson, you know how many targets he received yesterday?
12, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it was 10. If it is 12, then my point isn't valid.
Check.
Can you double-check that
12.
for me?
It's 12.
It is 12. 12 targets yesterday. That's only 5 more than what he had so far as his high on the year with 7.
Yeah.
And that 5-target difference showed me, okay, 1, I mean, the 80-yard catch was nice and all, but, 2, this is a guy you want to get involved with. And if it's only 7 targets a game, maybe it needs to be 8. Maybe it needs to be 9. And maybe you need to be more of a passing offense. Mm-hmm. Because clearly Jared Goff is doing a hell of a job.
He's slinging it.
But the pick sixes, your thoughts. We have a minute left. The pick 6, did it cost them the game?
No.
Because that is an argument resurfacing right now.
No, because if you get one stop, that pick six does not matter. I mean, the amount of times they didn't punt once, so I don't get that narrative either. It's easy to blame the quarterback. It's always easy. I mean, quarterback's the most important position in football. So if he throws a pick 6 at the end of the game, hindsight 20/20, yeah, you shouldn't have thrown the pick 6. Well, your defense should have made him punt once. That would have been preferred. Because let's say they punted on a possession, they kicked a field goal, you're still going to overtime. But that's the reality, Adam. I mean, people are going to bring up Jared Goff, even though, listen, both those pick 6s, it's kind of ironic, too, because they were both to TJ. But, again, not saying that's TJ's fault, but I'm not going to discredit a guy who's number 1 in the NFL in passing touchdowns. Not going to do that.
All right, fair enough. When we get back, we will go into Mailbag, get your questions in the Woodward Sports chat. Thank you for everybody watching us live over at woodwardsports.com. Appreciate it. As always, we're live here on a Monday, October 3rd, following a Lions 48-45 loss to the Seattle Seahawks. But before we go, I got to tell you about our good friends over at Planet Fitness, the official studio sponsor of the Woodward Sports Network. And if you're like Jelani Tavai, well, you got to get in shape. And now he's actually playing some pretty good football. Why? Because he went to Planet Fitness and got his butt in shape. $0 down, $10 a month. You can get started on your journey to be healthier mentally and physically. Your fitness is essential. Get to a Planet Fitness near you, of course, or visit them at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
And we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, 9:51. Mailbag time. Get your questions in the Woodward Sports chat. We'll start with ACAV. Who are you keeping, Ben Johnson or Dan Campbell? Oh, wow. Too early. Not doing that right now.
Yeah,
I can't.
That's ridiculous.
I can't answer that right now.
By the way, you can get in on this, the group discussion. Go to woodwardsports.com. Honestly, this is where all this is going down. But I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
Well, let's start with Chuck.
Too early for the,
Fair enough.
This or that.
Adam, how much blame is meaning Michigan State's bad season due to you picking them? Probably a lot.
What is it? So let me get this straight.
I think I jinxed them.
Apparently you jinxed. You're apparently, according to your father, you jinxed the Lions. And
Yep.
now you're jinxing State.
Now, how about you leave my dad out
What
of
is
this?
up with you?
Oh, God.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, God. You know what? I like this comment in the chat. Adam, you should use the rooster to wake up the defense or make the place kicker. Oh, God. How much will Michigan State, lose to Ohio State by on Saturday? I'm going to go Ohio State 113, Michigan State 7. That's fair.
I'm
Scott
terrified.
Hazelton will be hanged from the Michigan State statues out in East Lansing. I think it'll be
He'll
great.
be shot out of a cannon.
I think I should go to that game. I'm gonna dress up as I'm gonna dress up as Julius Caesar.
Oh, gosh.
and I'm gonna run onto the field, and I'm gonna go kill Scott Hazelton.
Well, hold on. You might have Abe coming in here.
Yeah,
with
I know.
a warrant.
And where I'm getting at is, long story short, we're gonna figure it out this
Well,
week.
you went last year to Michigan and Ohio State. They won. So
Yeah, I guess I'm Michigan's good luck charm.
just chose the wrong team.
Oh, God.
No, but I don't even know if I'll turn it on, to be honest.
Do you
with
think the offense is extremely ahead of the curve during this rebuild? No, I don't. So here's the problem I have. I don't think that is sustainable.
No, it's not.
We love Ben. We
Right.
talked
It's
about him
not-
last year in late October.
Yeah, it's not
We called for him
sustainable.
to be the OC. Be more involved in the team. When the offseason came, hire Ben Johnson. The offense it's not sustainable. I'm sorry, guys. That's not real. That's Madden. We're not playing Madden. We're in the NFL right now. We're trying to win football games. And relying on the offense to do that isn't a good thing. It just isn't. No. I don't think it's sustainable. If you want to say they're ahead of schedule, sure, whatever. But the reality is they're not going to be able to put a 34, 35 up a game. Look, over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, they're going to put up 20, 23, 24 points. Is that going to be enough? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Bills in Miami, 21-19. Like, you're going to have these games where your defense is going to have to get stops, and they haven't showed us the ability to do that. But I'm with you. The offense, to be the number one offense right now, to score the most touchdowns in the NFL, it's not going to be sustainable through 17 games. They'll be a good offense, but I'm with you. The
Look,
number
there'd be
one
an
offense
that
by
I'll
far.
trust to win me a game if I gave them the ball with a chance to win it. The problem is, have you given them a chance to win a football game? You only gave them a chance against Washington. They delivered. You didn't give them a chance anywhere else.
Yeah, you're right.
And in Minnesota, when
Every
it was
game
4th and
they've
4,
ended with-
you could have gave them a
Right.
chance to win the game for you, and you didn't, Dan. So that's your football team now. Let's see. The Seattle defense was terrible. Carroll is looking at his staff this morning. Yeah, look, their defense was terrible, but Look, Pete Carroll, snarky, you know what? I couldn't stand his presser. Oh, I've never seen anything like this Detroit Lions football team. Boy, they really played their hearts out. Boy, all this, all that. They did all this with all these injuries. Shut up, Pete. Shut the hell up, Pete. You're only saying that because you won the football game. Had you lost to this Detroit Lions team, you would have sat up there and said, can't believe we lost this game. Unacceptable. We didn't come to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever. Go to hell, Pete. Let's see. Let's go. Questions around the room from Jesse Adams. If the Lions win the next 2 games and they are 3-3 with Miami coming to town, what will your expectations be going into that game?
I have to see how this defense looks.
How about,
and I'll end there.
How about we win in Foxborough first, huh? How about we do that?
Yeah, he's never won a game on the road yet. So
he hasn't won a game on the road yet. His next 2 games are on the road.
That would be the first step.
How about we start there?
Just win on the road.
Anzalone is terrible, by the way. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
we all know.
Listen,
they suck. Linebacker, we all knew, was the worst unit on this team going into the season.
Right.
Jeff and Adam, what do you think about the return of Kamitsky, Levi, and Pascal making the defense better after the bye week?
I'm sick of this. The hypothetical, man, and listen, Tony D, I love you, but I can't have that conversation until I see him. I know Kamitsky, and I did say it would be a big loss with him not there, but for Levi and Pascal, I have no idea when they're returning. So I can't comment. I really can't. I don't know what effect they're going to have because they haven't been available. So we're going to have to wait for that one, my man. But it'll definitely benefit. Have more depth. It'll definitely benefit.
All right, fair enough. Adam, having fun being a Spartan? Jack, look at me. Do I look like I'm having fun? There's your answer.
I mean, it's not anyone's fault but yours, so can't really help you there.
Fish.
Well, I want Michigan to be good.
It's my favorite time of the show. Mute your mic.
Okay.
Shut the hell up.
Well, I want Michigan to be good, but they're not.
Shut the hell up.
I may.
Mute your mic.
Okay.
Adam, what would you rather kill, the Rooster, Aaron Glenn, or Scotty up in EL? I would definitely take out Scott Hazelton, 100%.
Yeah, Scott's in your crosshairs. I mean, that's...
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
If Detroit finishes 5, by the way, WoodwardSports.com chat thread, if Detroit finishes 5-12 and defense doesn't improve, is Aaron Glenn axed? I mean, yeah, that's no question, Jacob. If this defense is atrocious for the entirety of the year, I would be surprised if he's still here. I'm talking about atrocious, because we can talk about the talent and the personnel, but if they're historically bad, he's getting shot out of a cannon. I'm sorry. That's the reality.
Fair enough. Look, at the end of the day, I mean, it's been quite a show. Appreciate everybody that called in, of course. 313-552-6322 is the line. We'll go to the chat a little bit for the final part of the show. Jeff, before I get to the Woodward Sports chat, Goff has been exceptional. The offensive line has been as advertised.
Yep.
The offense is prolific statistically, and you're 1-3. The Lions, of all the teams that have scored more than 140 points in the first 4 games of the NFL season, they account for 3 of the 7 total losses in NFL history.
Oof.
Just from this season alone. Absolutely drives me nuts. Let's continue mailbag. We'll go to the Woodward Sports chat. Are the Lions or Adam's or Maddie's fault? I don't know at this point, to be honest with you. Probably my fault. Adam, appreciate you, man. Tell the truth. And even though the offense is good, they still lost. It's reality. Yeah, look, I mean, winning and losing is what the NFL is all about. I know it's not ideal, but
Right.
that's the reality of this business. Mark my words, the Lions will draft Will Anderson with a top 10 pick. Very, very interesting. Let's see. We'll wrap it up with one more question. Are the Lions buyers or sellers at the deadline, Jeff?
You ain't selling nothing. I'm going to tell you that.
I agree.
You're buying everything.
I don't think you buy.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but if they're going to do
what
one
can
of the
you
two,
buy, right? The players that you
buy.
typically buy before the deadline are veterans that are looking to go to a contending situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
You
think...
are not that.
No.
So
no.
they're neither. They're not buyers or sellers. But that is it for us. Thank you all for joining us this morning. I'm out of breath. Holy hell.
What a
that
show.
was a fun show. That was a fun show. Check out Big D Energy, 11 o'clock coming up in just a little bit. Ermanni and Edwards at 2. The heavyweights at 5.
Yep.
Make sure you check them all out. Excuse me. Make sure you check them all out
And
live
Adam?
over at woodwardsports.com. What's up?
Bingo. There, you said it. Never mind. Check them all out at woodwardsports.com.
Absolutely.
Great
We'll see you all
entertainment.
tomorrow morning, a Tuesday morning. The lines will be open. We'll get more to Michigan State, Michigan. We'll break down individual performances from the Lions game, and we'll see if anything changes with Dan Campbell. Until then, we'll see you all.
Bye.